Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the soup. Rain may come, we cover for it, it's cover charge, cover charge. Pain come in, we force ourselves to be strong for it, be strong for it. Northside slum, prison beds, and I'm better for it, I'm better for it. Representing Fli-City, now make some noise. Random corners, pushing packs, looking back, hand ups, ain't seen no pass. Fli-City got a city tax, body back, ski mask, crying waves to speak to God. City giving rich vibes, beat knocks through the speaker box, won't speak a lot, just move around. Water dirty, streets dirty, whip clean. We okay, we grew up on survival schemes, rider dreams, Lion King, the jungle seems like peace to me. Struggles led to victories, now picture me. 6 months out, I'm on my feet, on the business. Talks with Maddie, on the business. Run the city, leak with all the owners in it. Mighty since we bless the city with our agenda. Hustlers, open fillers, all that deals is open to us. Just push your lane, this crooked man, and we straighten out, but they tearing down. North side, south side, east side, west side, peace sides, we try to get this city side, west side, north side, south side, east side, west side, north side, that's south side, east side, west side. Got some dogs in it, dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce. We light it up like sauce in the sauce in the sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen. Nowadays I read grab charts and just mind my business. All praise to the Most High, how this young king living. Resurrecting the spirit of Osiris, how I'm living. Hustle and motivate your local hope dealer. I'm on tour right now, and I'm dope with it. They lied to us, stole assets, still in crisis mode. Water warriors like 1,001s, we will not fold. I'm sick of fugazi leaders and career politicians. The father said people perish due to lack of vision. It's time to ride Black Lives, baby, it's on the flow. Bet it back, no 9 to 5, only 10 to 4. A city of monsters, a bunch of go-getters. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. Authentic starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with starters, we too authentic. Authentic starters, we too authentic. We don't rock with 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 starters, we too authentic.
Let's hear that.
Yeah.
You keep all that.
Yeah. Welcome to Fli-City. Welcome to the Fli-City Blackout Show, home edition, freestyle.
Man, you see it? You see it? What's going on, family?
I had to get home and cook for the family.
I like how you came on in like Batman. Gonna come on in at the last second and stuff, right when the video was in. As soon as the video was in there. What's up, brother Robert? He come popping in. I'm like,
I didn't know y'all was even available.
Right, I was finna go in on him. I was finna go in. I was like, this brother knew I just called him.
Thought y'all was tied up and stuff, man. Couldn't get in.
You can't see nothing. I'm seeing you.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see it on YouTube. I can't see it.
Hold on.
When you use constant.
Let me check.
When we on the stream, y'all, we can't see the folks.
Hold on.
Okay, so you talking about on the
I'm looking right at you on YouTube right now. And this you talking.
I'm talking about.
I'm looking right at you on YouTube right now. And this you talking. Yeah, I just went on YouTube.
Well, welcome to the Fli-City Blackout Show. Once again, Thursdays, 6 o'clock, we back live. I told you sometimes we do it, sometimes we just do it on the fly and we just go.
You
We
on the
just
fly
go,
with it?
man. But we always gonna take care of our business. We're gonna take care of our business.
Oh, there, Becky
They don't
Brown, that's
stop.
Darius in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. In the kitchen. You hear me? I'm on the stove whipping it. I'm in the stove getting it together. You hear me?
Hey, what you cooking, man?
I'm making some chicken tacos. We're gonna put some bacon on them. Do a
Oh
bacon bits
my
on
god.
the
Nah,
taco, man.
it was good till you said the bacon bitch, brother. You done made
So
that
the
into straight
bacon bit,
pork.
what?
As soon as you went to the bacon.
It's optional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, then he
It's
had poison
optional,
to it,
man.
brother Roberts. He just went haywire. He was talking good. Add the bacon to the taco. Boy, I tell
Look,
you.
look, I had this bacon.
You might go boil some pig feet over there too, then.
I ain't started to. Started to, you hear me?
Blood going, that pig blood.
Hey, I started to, you hear me?
Robbie Moody.
You hear me?
Make your barbecue sauce. You know you need that pig blood to make your barbecue sauce.
Hey, listen,
Oh
I
my
definitely
goodness.
started to. I'm looking forward to this bacon.
Well, today's show was part swine, brought to you by Darius.
Brought to you by
Yeah, man.
brother.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bacon. Ain't
Bacon,
no other.
swine on the lady, brother.
Can't no pig kill you quicker than pig feet. But go ahead,
Go ahead.
knock yourself out. Ain't nothing but pig feet.
Yeah, man. We
Cranking it up on this side.
you say y'all straightening, getting the technology together over there?
Yeah.
Get everything lined up. See how the people doing today, how everybody moving around, what's going on in the city. You know what I mean? Still more violence. Still dealing more violence, man. That's still going on, man. Like I said, something we gotta attack ASAP. Still deal with that. But other than that, man, I'm excited about about our conversation yesterday. Still excited about that. Which is we still still asking for the men to come out on Wednesdays or tune in on Wednesdays, however you do it. You know what I'm saying? But like I
Tune
say,
in.
we do want some of them to come up to the building because
Right.
a lot of things I'm not gonna say, over the air. Like I say, left hand ain't gonna know what the right hand's doing. You never know who's spying in. You hear me?
Yeah, but we got to be a little careful. We got to be a little careful with the COVID thing. Now, everybody gonna catch it. Just gonna be honest. Some of them ain't gonna affect everybody, but let's just be a little conscious with it. So if you have to start, just say on with your stream and then bring them in. Like as the weather start picking up, this should be over by February. Man, it'll start.
Start slowing down.
Yeah, it's slowing down. Everybody get this cold every time this year. It's just them underlying health.
Everybody get COVID every time this year? Because that's their card.
I mean when it was catching flu.
Yeah, they don't call it no flu no more. Ain't no such thing no more. It's flu.
We'll just say flu on steroids for they want to flag the count.
The flu on roids.
We don't want the channel flag.
All right. But another day for the city of Flint. We hoping nobody lost nobody. We hoping everybody was safe. Made it home safe today, and everybody, was able to handle all the business they needed to handle. As usual, we're still on the front, still in the battlefield for you, for the city. Still trying to figure out, whatever we can do to help the city out. Still calling out for more people to volunteer and be a part of this, to help us out in any way. Still need the sponsors. Still need your sponsorship. That would be nice, to know we got that support from the city and everything like that. Yeah, so that's amazing. Got a lot we got in store for this year, man. A lot of things we excited for. Like I say, we're calling this year the year of pressure because we will be applying pressure. All those that we are expecting to really step up and be a part of the community and help out in the community. Whoever is it, we will let that be known also. You know.
Okay, I think I'm up and get on the page.
Yeah. What you putting
Now,
up
how
the
y'all
YouTube?
weekend going, man?
The week? We been
Yeah.
good, man. We been pretty good. We been rolling.
Mine's ain't been good, man.
Yours ain't
Mine's
been
ain't.
good, Vicky? What's
I mean,
going
cause
on?
I had the COVID, so I'm still doing the quarantining thing. So it's like I'm limited to where I can go and what I can do.
Oh, what you can
Basically,
do.
I'm
Well,
just living it.
at least you ain't in Australia, man.
You better believe it.
Cause man, cause over there right now, man, they is on tip.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw a video. They got them in camps. They got the non-vaccinated. They put them in camps. And I saw a video with this lady. They was telling they was gonna fine her $5,000 because she stepped outside of her trailer and passed this yellow line. Like, you can't step past that yellow line. You know what I mean? And she like, what you mean? She's like, nah, you ain't vaccinated. You can't step past the yellow line. Every time you step past this yellow line, it's gonna be $5,000 tax.
yes, it is.
That's what they hitting them for. That's crazy. Force them to you. Force them.
The wine y'all done froze up. No, we good there. Yeah, them brothers done froze up over there.
They just forcing them to vaccinate at this point.
Oh, y'all back
over
live.
there.
You was froze for a second. Yeah, no, they they really tripping. Do you think they gonna start that here? How you feel about that, Brother Roberts, and Dewan, about the vaccinated with the unvaccinated? You think they're gonna start doing like some camps of locking people down who are not vaccinated?
No.
Okay.
No. America, capitalism, no. They're not going to do that. You got to.
Well, America start. We capitalist now. But Biden trying to move us into globalization. Biden trying to move us into globalization. That was the whole thing about them making sure Trump didn't win. Because Trump was about capitalism. Trump was patriotism. Can y'all hear me? Dewan?
Loud and clear, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, Trump was.
Hold on 1 second, brother.
Trump was about capitalism and patriotism, basically keeping America apart from globalization. Biden is all for globalization. So now that Biden is in the office, they trying to move America back into the fold of globalization. Because Trump took us out of the global trade, the global healthcare, pulled us from all of that, and they didn't like that. And so they even got video of the Vatican making a statement saying that Trump can't win in 2020 because if he do, then America won't line up with the nations with globalization. And so, even though Trump was who he was and the type of man he is, or what have you.
Can y'all hear me?
You loud and
we
clear.
hear you, Brother Rob. Even though he is who he is, for us to stay away. Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Can you hear us, Brother Rob?
Can you hear us, Brother Roberts? We hear you loud and clear.
I don't think Brother Roberts can hear.
I can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear. I can definitely hear him. I don't think he hear us though.
Well, Chris,
we can't hear it.
I can.
The sound ain't working.
So we
can hear
we
y'all.
hear y'all. So when they invited Trump to try to sell them on globalization, all the nations together, because that's what they're trying to get into. So they invited Trump to that, and Trump basically shot him down.
Let me read this question to you then, Derek, because Chris Callis said Trump want us to be a communist nation.
He just not there.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Hey, well, back to what Darius was saying about and what you asked the question, Mick, about what Australia is doing or what have you. You know, Biden is a capitalist also. Most members of Congress or most Americans are capitalists. So when a lot of times we say something about Trump, you know, actually, you know, all of us continue to, you know, support capitalism. You know, we will not boycott, you know, just like, you know, we continue to eat pork. We continue to do a lot of things. And when we call other people out, so to answer your question, you know, I don't think Biden is no different than Trump, because, you know, what's going on right now, if you look at what, you know, now they can change this voting situation right now. This is unacceptable because they shouldn't even be having these conversations about voting when they have the power to change the filibuster. That's a simple thing that they need to do. So you got those so-called Democrats they're supposed to be Democrats, but they are, you know, they are white supremacists cloaked in, you know, Democratic cloak. So, but to answer your question, no, they're definitely not gonna have people that are unvaxxed in any situation where they can't enjoy the American dream.
Okay.
And they are listen. You already got some cities that's doing it, because like Satara spoke about going to Atlanta and not being able to eat a certain place because she wasn't vaxxed. So they're already losing her American dream already, because she don't even have the right to eat wherever she want to eat no more. You see what I'm saying? Because she unvaccinated. So we already moving into that. So we had our choice for presidency. We already know was really like picking either picking dirt or mud, basically. But all I'm saying is the reason they wanted, one of the main reasons they did what they did to make sure Trump got out was to keep, because like I say, Trump would not agree with globalization. If you look up what Biden is doing, Biden is in agreement with it though. And the whole Congress. This is what they talking about. This is where you start hearing this global restart, the New World Order. This is when you start hearing this stuff again. Y'all ain't seen a commercial that Celine Dion is in right now. She even got a new commercial where they throwing out this New World Order right in front of us.
Yeah.
Where she walking through a hospital where all the babies at, and they got the male and the female babies on both sides, and they got their gender on the wall, and then she blow like this black stuff. The gender go down, and the gender go away, and now everything just free. Like you can do whatever you want to do. Everything's just free. You choose whatever you want to choose.
Well,
I'm
to
sorry.
bring
As she blow this black smoke, when the cameras pan back to the babies, and these babies, their clothes change, and on their clothes it say a New World Order. With something that used to be what they consider was a conspiracy theory, now it was no longer conspiracy theory. This is what they looking for. So they got something called the 2030 agenda. They trying to say it will be done by 2030. They have the whole agenda. All this stuff you can look up. All this stuff can be looked up. That's the whole agenda. I say the problem with Trump was what they held was Trump, because he patriotic, or he about America. I don't like Trump. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to like my president. I just need him to be for the, be for the kind of, at least for the people. But he ain't really for the people. But he wasn't gonna let us. He wouldn't let us go into globalization. Biden's okay with it. This y'all can look this up. Or everything I'm telling you can be looked up, because I looked all of this up. Everything I'm telling you can be looked up.
I mean, looking stuff up again. Let me say something.
Us into this globalization, New World Order, one religion, and things like that.
Let me say something.
So,
you can look. You can look
we not
anything
careful,
up.
we find ourselves, like Australia.
Let me say something.
And so
You know,
if we not careful,
you
if
can
we not
look
careful,
anything up.
we find ourselves, like
Hey,
Australia.
who playing
Even
that
though,
back?
even though we feel like it ain't gonna happen, but I'm trying to tell y'all, this is the agenda.
Hey,
This
Derek,
is
you
the
can't
agenda that they
filibuster the
pushing.
conversation.
They crippled our economy. They crippled our
Hey,
economy with the
somebody is playing
colonization
some
of America.
feedback,
They
man. One of
crippled the
y'all playing some
American economy
feedback.
because people wouldn't agree with it. People weren't gonna just agree to go into something like globalization or something like that. But you gotta let the people know that the economy that you under ain't no good no more. So they
But
crippled.
somebody cut off their
They crippled this
YouTube.
economy. Is our economy any good right now? The economy going down because all the stuff that's going down because of the pain. So as they cripple the economy, you start putting the fear in people. Oh, you gotta do something. You gotta
What
do
is all
something.
that
Change. You
feedback
gotta do
going
something
on?
better. Can't hear you, Dewan.
Dewan, that gotta be your what's the
Can't hear
name,
you.
man. As soon as I muted you, it stopped. If somebody got something else on, some feedback coming in.
No, Brenda Boy, there's nothing positive about globalization. There's nothing positive about globalization because with globalization, it's gonna put one person in power. Now we pushing towards the Antichrist. We're going to the end of the world, so we pushing towards the Antichrist. We get to talk about pushing into globalization. The first form of globalization you can find it in Genesis, Nimrod. When in Babylon, when they built the Tower of Babel, everybody was under one language, all together, one, you know what I'm saying? And they built the tower, and God wasn't for it. So that's where you get the Tower of Babel. So God
Brother
wasn't
Roberts
for it, so
want
he
to,
confused all the languages.
but Brother Roberts want to
And
answer you,
that was the
Darius.
first form of an attempt at globalization in the world. Someone wanted to be the top dog in the world, and that's where we headed. If you don't want to see it, just remember. I said it, but I'm only saying what's already been revealed in the book of Revelations. We just living it out.
Hey man, hey y'all, refresh
So yeah, it's
y'all
gonna happen.
browser,
It's been
man.
prophesied already. It's gonna happen. Everything we seeing has already been prophesied.
Refresh.
Slavery was prophesied. Everything we doing has been prophesied. We just seeing it fold now. Whether we accept it or not, it's fold.
That is your computer, Dewan.
Is y'all there?
Yeah, but you ain't letting them brothers talk, Darius. Brother Robert's been trying to
Dewan?
get in. I just muted Dewan. I'm finna unmute Dewan.
Man, the echo just throws me off.
I just muted Dewan. I'm finna unmute Dewan.
Man, the echo just throws me
No
off.
volume.
I just muted Dewan. I'm finna unmute Dewan. It's your computer, Dewan. It ain't nobody else's but yours, but I'll refresh everything right now. Ain't nobody else's but yours, but I'll refresh everything.
No sound on. What's going on? Ooh, I know Dewan in there. I'm the only one that can hear it.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Brother Robert.
Okay. You know, I'm not gonna get into any kind of debate as far as religion is concerned. All I'm gonna deal with is facts. Just like, when you think about
Can't hear Brother
NAFTA,
Rock.
when you think about NAFTA or any kind of international trade, when we think about what has happened when they destroyed Flint, Michigan, when they moved those factories over to those other countries. So the bottom line is what our focus really should be is how we are protecting ourselves and investing in ourselves. That's what we're not doing. When you think about what the game plan is, it shouldn't be us about worrying about what their plan is, because their plan is very clear. What we need to be focusing on is how are we going to build our resources in our community? How are we going to make that dollar travel 100 times in our community? And how are we going to develop and sustain ourselves? That's the key. How are we going to develop businesses and resources that's going to sustain ourselves as we move forward? That's the key, because the system, as in the Matrix, it's going to do what it's been designed to do. But a lot of times we get caught up on the illusion of inclusion as opposed to what we need to do for ourselves. Now, no disrespect about I understand history real clear. And because we repeat history, it's because we don't honor history. So a lot of times, since we are ignorant to history, then we find ourselves still at the bottom of any kind of progression, any kind of, saying that we are having our own businesses in our community, that we are taking care of each other, that we are educating each other. We don't have no infrastructure, nothing like that. And that's the goal. Okay,
Brother Robert, not if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah.
I can't hear nothing coming from y'all in.
Normally, what we do, we
I
have
don't
a
even know if
studio
it's.
upstairs, and because of COVID,
We hear you though. You can talk.
I don't even. I guess the people probably can hear you. I
Yeah, they can
don't
hear
know.
you.
Mickey.
Yeah, I can hear you.
so our technician has
Sorry,
COVID.
we have technical difficulties right now.
Now we're using StreamYard. This is the first time we've used StreamYard. This is through Facebook and YouTube. Okay. And as you see, we're having difficulties with the volume, the echo. So StreamYard is
But go ahead, Brother Roberts, because we can hear you.
StreamYard is a app.
Brother Roberts, go ahead.
Okay, so
I can't hear nothing.
I was making a point as far as our goals should be collectively working together and not caught up on the minutia of this whole concept of what others are doing. It's about what we can build ourselves and must be committed to doing that. A lot of times we don't want to sacrifice. And so that's what should be, the mantra for this year should be extreme sacrifice, because we should be all about building our infrastructure for ourselves. One of the things that Black Dollar, how do we said we had an initiative this year where we was going to put these cans, we're going to put these cans around the city, these boxes and these cans around the city. And we want everybody in the city. We got 80,000 people in the city. So we're saying 80,000 people just put $1 into these boxes, right? So the dollar is going to be the earmark where we're going to invest in businesses. See, that's the key, because we get so caught up in what other people are doing. And that's the trick. That is the trick. Because once we focus
Nice box.
on building one another, supporting one another, celebrating each other, it's unlimited what we can do. Do y'all know in the 1800s and the 1900s, Black people owned banks around the country? Before the Great Depression, Black people had banks. They had banks, man. And they was the people because they were investing back into their community. We don't know none of that history. And so that's what I'm saying. We have to be about building our own infrastructure. Nick?
No, you still there, Brother Roberts. I was just listening to you.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just listening to you.
DeJuan's gone too?
Yeah, Dewan trying to get his together. I don't know what Dewan did. Dewan's kept coming up, in the woods and that.
Okay. So again, just to recap, I got here, I get information from CURE, which is a group that Citizens United for Rehabilitation.
Right.
Men and women coming home from prison. And see, what we don't look at is the House bills.
Right.
So right now, I'm looking at several bills that were sent to the House that were sent by different congressmen and senators, but didn't pass. Now we got all these different bills in here: Cory Booker, Klobuchar, Duckworth. I got maybe about 50 bills here that have been presented. And then they have to go, and then they go on the committee, and then they come to the floor to be voted on. And we get so caught up on these other things, don't realize how important it is for us to be designing legislation, because that legislation is what attacks our lives daily. Because we are not at the table when they are making sure that, like this one right here, it says Sheila Jackson Lee prioritizing the vet court treatment program that gives equal access for racial and ethnic minorities and women. And again, this bill passed.
Right.
Then you go right down to the next bill by Wyden, divert certain parents of minor children, expected parents, and other caregivers from incarceration into robust community program. That didn't pass. Senator Booker, provide grants for state and to provide mental health services for juveniles in detentions requires those states to ban certain fees on juvenile. You see, that's at the level we don't understand, because that's where the money is divided.
Right.
That's how that money is broken up. And I got a list here, man. I got at least, man, I got 2 pages of about at least 25 bills. And this on the little end. And this is the 117th Congress. And these are what they had done at the end of 21. And these go into 23, January 23. And this is all dealing with criminal justice bill that they've been introduced. And this part of the American Rescue Plan.
Right. Mm.
And so, again, when we talk about, how well are we informed, just like what's going on with the DA downtown with David Leahy.
Right.
Like what's going on with the, right now, do you know the county jail is closed because of COVID? Did y'all know that?
No, I did not know.
They shut it down they shut it down Sunday because of outbreak of COVID. Community don't know nothing about that. Only reason I found out, we get a call because I teach a class down there on Thursday.
Okay.
But it go to show you about what the public don't know.
But what protocols do they have for COVID anyway? Because it seems like they don't got good ones out here. So if they got decent ones out here, they ain't got no decent ones in there.
Oh, no. They, because, none of the inmates brought it in. So, the guards are bringing it in. So most of the guards are Trump supporters. So, they not vaccinated.
Or wearing masks.
They have to wear masks down there. You got to wear masks.
Oh, they making them wear masks? Because I'm seeing how they stopped the mask here. It's not a mandate here no more.
You got to wear a mask inside the jail, yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Now, I'm not going to say what they do before they get punched the clock.
I mean, no, it's easy to catch it. I'm a proof of that. My whole household caught it from one person. And it spread it like that through our household, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was fire. So I can see a guy bringing it in, but that's wrong though. They able to bring it in, you give it to other inmates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's wrong that they're not even providing vaccination for them. I think that's even worse.
Well, okay. Well, Becky Brown said that. She said the black media and Flint should be working heavily together.
I can't hear a word. I want to engage with your brother Roberts. I can't hear. I can't hear nothing.
So when she say that, what form of black media?
What she was saying, I guess in the city of Flint, because she was saying journalism, broadcasting, library, etc., to build a platform that benefit the residents in the city of Flint.
Aside from my daughter, I don't know any other with the Flint beat. I don't know. Do you know of any other black media?
No, I do not.
I mean, you can say, what's that? The Crisis.
Now, besides what we trying to put together, but we trying to give it to you.
The Courier.
Yeah.
The newspaper, the Courier. I guess the McGee podcast, Mayor Weaver's podcast. I guess are they saying that those
AC
podcasts are
Dumas.
part of the media?
AC Dumas.
So are they saying the podcasts are part of the media, black media?
Yes, it is. It's part of it.
Okay. Well, you know, I think that is at the heart of everything that we're doing. Why is it so hard for us to come together and really push on 5 or 10 things that we are dedicated, uncompromising, that we are seriously dedicating to work on these 5 or 10 issues collectively, not hating on each other, not being jealous of each other? How can we just focus like a laser focus like they did in 1955 with the boy bus caught down there in Birmingham?
How can you get the people to want to do that now, though? That's the thing. How can you get back then? You can get blacks on one page to help each other. I mean, to fight for a cause or stand for it. This time right now, you couldn't even. You had more whites down
To the
there for
viewers, I do apologize
don't want to wear masks. You
about
had more of them show up.
the technical difficulties.
Yeah, you're right. And to answer your question,
Like I said, I can't hear nothing coming back from the building out here
answer,
towards me, Brother Roberts.
okay, to answer your question, Mick,
And I don't know what Dewan is.
Dewan's having problems with his connection. He's downstairs in the conference room. Mick,
Yes, sir.
to answer your question, we bought into, you know, like in the Matrix, we took the red pill and we want to be, I always tell you, we want to be white. So that's it.
Oh, well, that's a cold thing then. Then the situation ain't gonna never change. You know, I'm just saying,
Well,
how can you
Roberts,
change it?
since you got a lot of the information on what you've been doing with the boxes I see and the letters and stuff you have been doing, I'm gonna just let you kind of let the people know, you know, what's all lined up. Because like I say, we can't even dialogue right now because I ain't hearing nothing from back there. And it's crazy y'all can hear me, and I can't hear nothing back from there. So it's technical
Mick,
difficulties. I'm gonna probably just go on Facebook and watch you from there and kind of comment in from there and let you let them know what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to tell you, Mick, if you could chat in and tell him to cut off and then reboot his system.
That's what I've been telling him. I've been over in the chat. He ain't been paying attention to it.
Oh, yeah, he just talks so much.
Right.
But you know, I do believe just like how do we motivate our children, or how are we motivated? When you think about what is the motivation behind anything that we do, is it that we, at the end of the week, we work a job and want to get paid? I mean, what is our motivation and what is our satisfaction? What are we looking to be satisfied with, or how are we looking to be satisfied? I think that's the real concern of how do we strategize to impact a community that has been totally brainwashed. Because when you think about that internal hate, I mean,
Right.
like they killed Young Dolph down there in Memphis, man. You know, like they killed Nipsey Hussle. I mean, I look at them as internal assassinations based on the system. I think it was more to it, like they did Dr. King and Malcolm. I think it was a concerted effort from the government. But again, you got people that look like me and you that's young and jealous, and I'm going to shoot you just for a reputation. I don't get that, Mick.
I guess that's how we. I mean, it was, you know, they did a thing on us in slavery, man. Because you can see how we can go gun each other down, but look how Zimmerman walking around. Just look how any whites that did something to blacks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that when you think about that culture conditioning,
Yeah,
for 500 years, has left such a trauma, has traumatized us so much that, but okay, just like a lot of people believe in God and Jesus.
Right.
So if your belief is in faith and we are going to die, we cannot believe that we have been created, that this is going to be the end all to do all, that that's all, that we are going to be destroyed, that we are going to destroy ourselves from our own ignorance. I just can't buy into that one. What do you think?
Personally, we doing it already. I just look at it like we've been so confused, and the way we've been conditioned is that we don't believe in if we got business to support each other. And, you know, it's like it's just I don't know what it is, Brother Roberts. I just think, just look at our neighborhood. We'll mess up our neighborhoods, and then we'll go move. Just say the Grand Blanc, or say we moved to Swartz Creek or Flushing, and we'll think that's better. We didn't really did some moving. Oh, we get to move out there in Southfield somewhere. We'll go move in the white neighborhoods and rather keep it up. But we're in our neighborhoods shooting, killing, liquor stores everywhere, grass is not, abandoned houses. The difference between our area and them areas is just money being spent in them to keep them up.
I think back to what you think about the psychic, that kind of understanding, as you said, we'll disparage our community, but we want to strive to be in white and live next door to white people, and we'll kill ourselves to do everything to be accepted. It goes back to what you said earlier about the indoctrination of slavery, what it did to us, about us internally hating ourselves. So I think what has to happen is a traumatic lobotomy. A lobotomy has to take place.
Mm.
And many lobotomies that's done, some people don't make it back.
Becky Brown, not Becky Brown. Hold on, let me read. This what Brenda Boyd just said. She said they arrested the founder of the Oath Keepers. What is the Oath Keepers?
A white supremacist group.
Okay, she said, okay. They just said they just arrested him. But this the thing with the white supremacist group. You might as well arrest about 85% of Congress.
That's my point.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got...
And 90% of the law enforcement in this country.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't care. We're just reading about, they said the state police, how they done just came out and seen what far as prejudice, far as them pulling over more people of color. That is nothing new.
Nope.
That's nothing new to me. I'll give you a prime example. When I was talking, me and Rich was talking yesterday, right? We was looking at how the fourth ward, what's her name? Judy Priestley. And just look how none of them want to balance the water, zero balance the water, right?
Yeah, right.
Don't none of them. They say they don't even care with this right here. This show you how bad this is. The water's still poison, right? They still want you to pay for poison water, but yet they won't even zero balance it. Won't you meet people halfway? Okay, we zero balance the water now. But now y'all gonna have to pay for it.
Exactly.
But in their mind, they can't see that paying for poison water is wrong.
That's white supremacy and that's capitalism.
I never understood that. They do not see okay, take away that y'all paying for poison water. They still ain't not one of them people that sit in that council seat, black or white, that I know of. Maybe some have, but why they ain't down there fighting about getting that water, getting the infrastructure for the water? So if you is paying for it, at least you're paying for clean water. They want you to pay for poison water.
We not demanding it. Right there, what you just said. Those that fourth ward and all those people, that hallway and that room should be packed with people demanding that the water be zeroed out. That's how that needs to look. Demanding that we have our own trash pickup. Demanding that we have our own land bank. See, that's how it's got to be. It's got to be a collective, because what they bet on is one or two people. One or two people don't matter. Just like with the Little Red Hat Club and AARP.
Right.
Those two entities started with two people.
Right.
They nationwide now with power. Two people, Red Hat and AARP. Two people had an idea, had a plan, and we sitting around here in Flint, we laughing at our city council, but we ain't demanding and making city council. And so that's back to the collective. Okay,
Right.
Flynn getting ready to leave, right?
Where is he going?
I guess he moving down south. You know, Reverend Miller getting ready to leave too, right?
Oh, I didn't know he's leaving too.
Reverend Miller going back to South Carolina. They just fired Reverend Sanders over there at Gracie Manual. I mean, Ebenezer. They just fired him.
Wow.
Yeah, brother. And then the other Reverend Sanders at New Jerusalem, he looked like he about ready to die. Looked like he got forgive me, guy. It looked like but anyway, he in trouble. I mean, he in trouble for real, man. He looked like one of them Ethiopian children that haven't eaten in 1,000 years.
Wow.
He looked bad, brother. I don't know if it's COVID. I don't know why he would be out in public like that, because he was in the pulpit and then they had to almost hold him up.
Oh, no, he should be at home.
Yeah, anyway, the point I'm making is,
okay,
we keep waiting on a savior, and then we keep buying into this book. And I'm not hating on any book, from the gospel to the Torah to the Injil to the Quran. But even with any material, you have to analyze it, just like I read a lot. I analyze it, then I check other sources. I don't just go with one source. I'm not just buying into what somebody say. You got to get some receipts on it. And when you get the receipts, then you see what the results are. When you see what the results are, and you still, man, when you steal, man, that's a problem, brother. When you see what the receipts are, and you still don't believe it, that's where we are. We think somebody else is supposed to educate our children, and we don't spend no time educating our children at home. Like, they should be study periods. You get out of school, we got 2 hours that you got to do some study, right?
Right.
Before you go out and do anything, man, you got 2 hours, man. You got to get it in, man. Because they already are checking, man, third grade reading levels. You know, third grade, if you get kicked out in the third grade, or your reading level in the third grade, they already determined, like they're like on Pasadena Street. 600 beds, 600 new beds on Pasadena Street right now being built, going to be done by the fall. They haven't built a new school in Flint. They haven't built a new school in Flint for Flint since 1983, New North.
Wow.
Since 1983, brother.
Wow.
They spent $35 million for the Capitol Theater, brother. $35 million for the Capitol Theater, downtown Flint. $35 million to restore a theater in downtown Flint. All that money came into community foundation. All those entertainers and all those people that donated that money about the water, where's that money, man? Where that money, Mick?
I don't know. I would like to know where that money at. I would like to know where that money at.
Where's that money?
I can't answer that for you because they got that money in dips. That's why that water not fixed.
You got Isaiah Oliver over there. Me and him used to be cool, man. But man, I had to tell the brother, man. I mean, he is definitely performing for his masters.
Wow.
He didn't invite me no more to they used to have a wine down, man, down there at their little white club. And they stopped inviting me.
For real? Well, I mean, you know what, brother Rod? I'm not surprised with that, brother. We got a lot of that. I see a lot of that on council. Like Chris Callow said, what we got is a lot of company men. See, them people, it's because they caught up in the American system. I get it. Don't nobody want to be poor. They want to be rich. I mean, they want to have a house. Remember, the American dream was a house, picket fence, 2 kids in a car.
Right.
That was the American dream.
Oh, and a dog.
Right. Oh, yep, the dog. That was the American dream. But what they wouldn't understand is that with that American dream, you had to do some selling out. Just think about it. The revolutionaries, a lot of them got jobs. A lot of them started, what you did have to grow up, but they never understood, like, with integration was one of the worst things that we did. Right. As long as we were segregated, we was doing good because we had to deal with our own. We was more forced to deal with us. Right. But now you have a black man, I'd rather go deal with the white farmer where he know he probably getting priced up high. Right. But you think he'd rather go over here to the black farmer and do business? It don't make sense.
Nope. And that's it. Back to, like you said, about that psychological brainwashing, and back to what are the solutions? We know what the problem is. We keep, again, and I think addressing the symptoms to understand what the cure is. Right. Anytime you're dealing with any kind of disease, when you think about COVID or this Micron, diseases have to be interrupted. Right. You got to interrupt a disease, man. You got to interrupt infection. Just like I don't believe in that family curse. I believe there's a family choice. Right. We can choose to do certain things, but I can choose to influence you like they did with that Citizen United in 2013. Once they overturned Citizen United, now all that corporate money is going into politics, man. That's what's wrong with us now. They got so much money into promoting lies, and all them senators and congressmen, they getting fat, Mitch. They getting fat, man. Do you know that?
Yeah, no, but that's what's gangster. When they told you, just think what you said earlier, like that Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Them ain't nothing but Dixiecrats. Period. What they don't even want, what blacks don't vote, well, you can't vote, but you sit up here and told the blacks, if y'all give us this, if we win this sit in the house, this gonna change. Yeah. Then nothing change be for the simple fact because Joe Biden is a Dixiecrat. Like Chris Caleb said earlier, he only went with Obama because he wanted to be that. Obama only picked him. Just look how he was talking about Obama in the beginning. Yes. These are people, they're not poor. These are rich people. Yes. They're not gonna change the game up for the lesser can catch up. Nope. That's just like we got all these bums, homeless people. I ain't gonna say bum, homeless people right now running around here. I saw a white person. This one I knew this was crazy. What she said, because somebody asked. Well, Felinda Lee said, could they use the schools since the Flint schools were shut down for warming centers for the homeless can come up in there. I seen a white person on that comment said, why would we do that? They got disease. They got, it came up with every reason why the homeless couldn't be in no warming shelters. But these are the people that we got. Wow. And so, when you got people who think like that, think less of the lesser, you're not going to win in this. Just like with America, we should have free Medicaid, but why we not going to have free health care? Industrialized country, but not with no free health care.
It's a business.
Right. Even with COVID, reason our COVID numbers are up, how you going to tell a person in 5 days they can go home? Yeah. You might be all right in 5 days, but then the 6th day it might turn bad.
Yeah.
But look how many people you spreading it with. Like I said, I caught it. It ran through our whole household.
Wow.
So you know it's easy to catch.
Wow.
But you're gonna say 5 days. I'm making myself do 30 days.
And
just
you
to
know
be
what?
on the safe side.
And you know that 5 days, see, even that 5 days, all that's been a lie too. See, and that's back to politics. Cause like you just say, you don't know how long that germ could be in any individual. All of us are made differently, right?
Right.
And so the CDC, and that's why the CDC is corrupt, because they in bed too with the capital. It's about they don't want to shut. They're not gonna shut this country down, brother. Do you know what's going on this weekend?
No, what's going on?
The playoffs.
Oh yes, sir.
You know how much money getting ready to be spent?
No, what's going on?
Do you know how much money getting ready to be spent, brother?
I know a ton of it.
Man, don't get me started.
A ton of it. You know it's gonna be a ton of it.
Come on now.
It's gonna be a ton of it.
And the idiotic thing about it, you got this guy named Kodiak Black. It's so embarrassing to have black people. This is a black man. He got gold teeth in his mouth. Look like a jigaboo. He on the doggone. He in the luxury box.
Right.
Acting like he getting sex up in the luxury box at a hockey game. Who do that, man? He's got his hair look like buckwheat of the Little Rascal.
Oh, that's black people. That just show you how ignorant we, man, brother. I'm so disgusted with like the entertainment, but they have took it too far. Do they understand? Me and my uncle always told me this. When you look at business people, right? That's just think about this. When Jay-Z them said they had, he was part owner of the Nets, right?
Right.
He was never a part owner. He had a percentage. But when did the owner have to come sit in the audience, sit in the stands with the people? They weren't looking at the game that they was playing. They only brought you there before they can get more fans to come. Oh, Jay-Z gonna be at the game. That's like blacks don't. We still don't get it. We are trotted around like
prostitute. We continue to be prostitutes.
Yes.
We continue to be exploited because we don't know our true value. See, that's the issue. We don't know that we come from greatness. We come from the first creation that was created by the Creator. And we have bought so much into and that's only been recently. See, because in the 14th century, we didn't identify ourselves. Even white people did not identify themselves as white. They identified themselves from their country of origin. They did not identify themselves as white. Never did until the 14th century. And because we are not even just a little knowledgeable in our school system about teaching the truth. We started off in this country, Christopher Columbus, how you gonna find something that was already here and people that was already here, and you gonna say that, how you gonna justify killing all these native people and you guys gonna be patriots? How that work?
You right about that, brother. No,
we started off in a lie. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Dred Scott decision of 1857. Every line in there does not say anything about black people got any rights, man. There's no line in the Constitution that says anything about black people having any rights, man. It says white landowners have the right to vote.
Terrible.
The Bill of Rights is very clear.
Terrible.
No provision for black people. The Dred Scott decision that's never been overturned said that no white persons have to respect anything that a black person says, nor does that black person have a power to own anything. That's in the Dred Scott decision in 1857, and it's never been overturned.
I wish, Brother Roberts, I wish them Negroes is in city council and as mayors and in the Senate and the Congress would read that again
Yeah.
to understand what they are. So even though you got that job for your white master,
Yeah.
you are still a nigga.
You are still, yes. That, I don't use that word, but you still are,
A Negro.
you still are property.
Right, you still property until we realize that. And let me read this what Brother Jaleel just put on. He said, remember, Noah warned the people for 150 years of flooding coming, and the people mocked him, called him out his name, and dismissed him as crazy. The same is happening today. We are Noah, and the majority is not listening. Therefore, we just keep building the ark, move on in preparation of the great and dreadful day. Now, I can't believe, I can agree with that, because how our people is set up, they don't understand it. For just say right now, they talking about a food shortage is coming, right?
Yeah.
We don't own no land, but we got all these black, sophisticated people that got all these jobs. They don't own no land here. So what we gonna do? Remember, the grocery store's only stacked for 30 days. So if you go rush it and when it's gone, what you gonna do then? We gonna start running into each other's house?
That's real talking. And on that note, ain't it something? Think about that. And I'm old enough to remember, because my people come from Texas. I was born in Chicago. I couldn't understand why, my mom and them they had box gardens in the projects, right? Didn't understand it. Then when we come to Flint, the lot next to our house, my people bought, and we had to work in the garden, right? And so I got trained early how to can and all. Didn't like it at all. You hear me?
Right.
We learn how to shuck peas and all that kind of stuff, brother, right? So
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of times we poor on welfare, but all that stuff we ate during the wintertime, right?
Right.
So we learned that trade, but we at our age, a lot of times we got teased. We used to get teased about what our mothers and grandmothers was doing, because that's where they come from, the South, right? They thinking years ahead, right?
Right.
And so to answer your question, when the food shortage come, people gonna die because they're not gonna be able to go to DoorDash, right?
Right.
Do you know a McDonald Happy Meal gonna cost $1,000, right?
Right.
And whose fault is it? It's our fault, because if we come from the earth and we come from the first people, how dare we be ashamed of farming? We was more together when we was picking cotton than we are today.
Oh yeah, we confused.
It's our fault, man. So I don't have no animosity, but I think, like you said, all these interesting Negroes that want to walk around with their chains and what's his name? Floyd Mayweather, $1 million car, and Jay-Z just got a watch. They had this. Jay-Z got a watch that cost $17 million. A watch on his wrist that cost $17 million. Do you know what $17 million could do for the north side of Flint?
Get Flint out of trouble. Get Flint out of trouble. Can fix that Flint water.
So to answer the question, Jaleel is right. Because if you remember, you too young, but when I was growing up, I know it was a big debate about Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey was clear about having fish ponds. And I remember how the nation had restaurants and, hey man, down on St. John, and when I was in Chicago on State Street, man, they own a whole strip. The Muslims, you follow me?
Right.
A whole strip. You dig what I'm saying, brother?
Right.
So we have bought into that illusion of we want to be white soul. That's why we eat pork, just like with Darius. That's why we love pork. We love that blood. We love to have that blood in the barbecue sauce, and we just love it, man. We salivate over it. We just want to be white so bad, man. So that's the issue.
We hit. I mean, that's how you right on that. Because I'm just, like I said, I look at that council, and I you know what I'm saying, and I'll be looking at when you can hear a Judy Priestley say, "I know my neighbor ain't paid his water bill." So For them not paying their water bill, that we know the water is poison. You can't cook with it. You shouldn't be bathing in it. But yet, you would rather say, no, they need to pay their water bill. Balance the water, and then after they balance the water, then who don't pay their bill, then you deal with it like that. But for you not to understand that it's babies that got skin rashes from this water, we don't know what this water gonna do to these kids from 7-10 years from now, but yet you rather not zero balance the water, but you zero balance the water. The money was there. You can do that with it. Zero balance the water.
Right. And again, when you just said, and I go back to this, just like what Lyndon Dean Johnson told Dr. King, make me do it. We got to make the city council do what we want them to do. Back to what you said. The effect of what's going on with these kids is prevalent right now.
Right.
Over at Durant Mott, I'm over there. We was over there before COVID. One day a week, those kids, because of that lead, their behavior psychologically, man, what our kids are going through, they already are dealing with trauma, right? So
right.
add the water, and these kids right now that's 6 and 7 were babies or was in their mother's stomach when they was ingesting this poison and been ingesting this poison, been bathing in this poison. And we can see it in the classroom, the way these kids are behaving at the elementary level and at the high school level. We're over at Southwestern. They are out of their minds over at Southwestern. Them young, the 9th to 12th graders, them boys and girls are out of their minds, man.
No,
and
I believe
because
you.
of the water, it's because of what they ingesting in their bodies, man. You know, they eat hot Cheetos, hot fries. If you eating something hot, because they not eating nobody's eating nothing green, no carrots, no celery, no broccoli, none of that stuff, brother. No tomatoes, none of that, no beets, none of that raw, man. These kids gonna be hit. That's why they are so susceptible to any kind of germ, any kind of bacteria, guys. It's gonna go to the weakest link, guys. Whatever's weak in our bodies, that's where that bacteria is gonna go, because that's where it hits, man.
No, brother, I'm gonna keep mentioning this. I watched Roland Martin's show Monday. He brought a doctor on, but I like to watch Rizza Islam. But on this one, he was the first doctor that linked obesity with COVID-19 deaths, which you just said.
Real talk.
He was the first one to link obesity with it. They didn't want to say it, but it do make sense on this, just like what Derek said, don't judge him on the pork. But this is the thing with the pork. When you got high blood pressure, but people constantly want to go, see, they look at the weed shop and say, oh, that's a drugstore. What do you think Walgreens and Rite Aid is?
Drugstore.
Because people want to keep eating these different foods. They'd rather take this medicine. Yep. Knowing after so long, what taking this one pill might destroy this in the body part. But instead of eating right, a person would rather take the pill. See, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at people who wanted to take the vaccination shot, but why don't we talk about holistic building up the immune system too?
Because it doesn't profit the pharmaceuticals, and it doesn't profit those companies that's been designed and created. Because before you had any kind of pill, we got all our municipal properties from the earth. So because they have split the genome when they stole the HeLa cell from Henrietta Lacks, don't get me started.
Oh no,
that broke the whole. The biotech industry started from a black woman that they stole her HeLa cell. No cell in the history of mankind have ever been able to be grown in a lab, and she revolutionized the cloning. And you think about it, there are over 300 different types of corn in the world. The United States only used one type of corn seed, and it comes from, what's that, Monsanto? What's the name of that company?
Monsanto.
Brother, is that insane? That's insane.
Yeah.
Man. That's what we're dealing with. So to answer your question, yes. What he's saying about the obesity and that connection, along with sugar. Sugar is one of the most dangerous drugs on the planet.
Yes, it is.
That sugar, brother, that sugar is it, brother. You talking about a real drug? holler at you.
No, yeah, because I was looking at some Brother Roberts the other day when they talk about the World Seed Bank, that they got all the seeds. Was it in the Netherlands or something? Like, say it might be another catastrophic.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Yeah, they got all the World Seed.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand. When they got the World Seed Bank, man, this is some of the craziest stuff I done seen. Like, they got all the seeds saying they know one day the world is going to come to where, like they said, the end of the world. Who be planning for stuff like this? Like, they planning to start a food shortage. Why would you take all the world seeds? Then what they saying fires with Bill Gates. He didn't contaminate it. Now, let me just stop this. Did you know they said it's Bill Gates? I forgot where it's at. They done scraped it off YouTube. When he talked about it, 7 billion people on the planet, right?
Right.
And he said we need to knock a third of the people down. They didn't took that off now.
Right.
What the hell you got a person say we need to knock a third of the world off?
Well, he was basing it on, like you say, with algorithm, they're saying that the planet we're not producing enough food to feed the number of people that's on this planet right now. And then they're expecting by 2050 for it to be 10 billion. They're not going to let that happen because this planet can't sustain that. So yes, along with the viruses and then but since we done screwed the planet up, it's not even going to be up to us because we done screwed the planet up, brother. It's not even going to be all that. Yeah, that's a lot of people's jobs, man. When you think about what people going to, especially when you think about people at the PhD level and the research level, they spend time 20 and 30 years because that's how they came up. They started thinking about the atomic bomb back in the early 1800s, right?
Yes, sir.
So you think about, you say, well, why do people think of that? Because as human beings, we think of the impossible to make it possible. Right. At one time, you would think, why would we think of ways to kill one another? Because when you think about ancient with the Kemetic people and the Nubian people, they live in thousands of years. So they sitting around, they having no wars, ain't fighting or nothing. They just doing a little hemp. They like doing a little yoga. They chilling. And they come up with language and art and science and astrology, right? For thousands of years, right?
I'm with you.
Ain't nobody fighting, nobody drama. They having good sex. Ain't nobody trying to be a girl that's trying to be a boy. Ain't none of that going on for thousands of years. They cool.
Right.
They loving on each other, right?
Right.
So to answer your question, we get to a point where we become so entwined with wanting to be God. Right. We become perverted. So now with our perversion, we start taking on these other things. We start acting out, just because you can do it, maybe you shouldn't do it, man.
Yeah, but okay, well then not to change the subject. How you feel about what China did with this? What they did with their Earth, with their sun, supposed to be 7 times hotter than the sun. These fools, I gonna say fools, they didn't just set up here and set a nitrogen bomb in the air. We don't know what that might do.
I mean, when you think about all that again, the Fukushima plant is still leaking radiation into the ocean. So in Japan, so when it collapsed. So again, that right there, some stuff is out of our control. A lot of this is out of our control, and it has to be someone in line with an entity that's powerful than we are, because I do believe in history there's been checks and balances. Again, when you see the recorded history of they talk about the Israelites and coming out of bondage, and they tell that story over and over, but that story was reflected early in the Kemetic text of the Meta Neter that thousands of years ago, dealing with people that look like me and you. So a lot of the stories are being retold. So when people when groups conquer each other, they steal and they lie and they destroy and they take from each other, and then they turn their deity. Because when you think about what you just said about China, China's corrupt.
Right.
China corrupt.
Like never before.
Like never before. But let's be honest. Who taught them how to be corrupt?
America.
Oh, the new kid on the block, done poisoned everybody in the world. Hey, look, I dropped my thesis, right? I walk off the stage, right? Because I just said it, right? The new kid on the block. I'm over at Cambridge having a lecture with Malcolm. The new kid on the block, because this country is the new kid. Everybody else been around thousands of years, right? They've been around thousands of years working it out, right?
Right.
Here come America, and they invent the worst slavery known to man. The atomic bomb. Let's think about it, man, what they did, man. In less than 500 years, man, how they just screwed up the whole planet. In less than 500 years.
Yes, they have.
If you want to talk about in that scene in Matrix, when Morpheus is sitting in the chair and the agents talk to him, he say, "You're despicable. You're just like everywhere you go, you just destroy it." And that's what, forgive me to our white audience, but that's what some people do. Wherever they go, they're cancer, man.
No, they have to. No, you have to be honest, and we have to be honest with history.
We
want to sit up here and act like I remember when we had Winters and Floatum on the show.
Yeah.
Remember Flo was acting like, but them not the only two, and I love them. I got respect for them sisters.
Me too. Yeah, I got respect for them.
They weren't the only ones was trying to justify. Was trying to justify saying Mr. Mott was a good person.
I'm telling you.
I love watching Sister McGee. I remember when she did down there a month talking about Mr. Mott, when she went in and said like how she read on him. Yes, he was a brilliant man, far as how he thought to make the people of Flint to get them educated enough so they can come work in his factory.
Right.
But just because he had that type of brilliant mind, he was still a racist. He was still a staunch segregationist.
Yes.
All I do is look how Flint was designed.
Yes.
Blacks over here, whites over here. You knew that situation. You come up over there on St. John's area. Yeah. So you can speak more, shed more light on it. But I'm just saying, but you still have people, blacks, trying to say, even the brother you brought on when he said Mott paid for him to go to U of M.
Come on.
Even with him, we still just look at these different presidents. We can't go up and say not one president was good to black people.
No.
We right now in the 2022 fighting to see if they fighting what they're gonna deal with the blacks now. Do they still have a vote to write?
No.
Won't just write it in the law.
Simple as that.
And we had a black president. Obama didn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
You see what I'm saying? But they want us to believe the white people. They love us. No, they have a position. You can say something is good, and I'll use this various I've heard before. What's the difference between a garden snake and a cobra? One just got poisoned, but they still both gonna bite you.
That's right.
So if you're looking at this, you're looking at your conservative to your liberal white. They still don't want you in their neighborhood.
And then you do have those John Browns, right?
Right. No, hey, I'm not going to say all of them, but there's so many of them that they overshadow the good ones.
They overshadow the John Browns.
Yeah, because if you had more John Browns, this would have been over. But if you can understand it, this is not going, a white person is not going to get us out of this condition.
And I don't, and again, back to, it's our responsibility. I think we put too much, we give them too much power.
We do.
We give them too much power. We're talking about racism. We get too much power. We're talking about discrimination. We get too much power giving white people power over us.
Yes, we do.
Like I keep saying, and people say I'm tripping. Those NFL players should not be playing this weekend, man.
No, they should not.
They should not have a halftime show. They should not have no NCAA. Them black boys should not be playing in college. the NBA, nobody should be doing no kind of work with any kind of agency, company, or business
Right.
that does not support Black people, humanity, and destiny to provide for themselves. If you are not a company, a business, a local liquor store, lottery company, I don't care what it is. If you're not for equal treatment, and we're not asking to be treated differently, we
Right.
say stop hunting us down and killing us.
Right.
Stop denying us opportunities.
Right.
Let us be free where we can own our own businesses, live where we want to live.
Right.
Stop lying us and charging us all this money. You call for a service. You call for somebody to come out and do something at your house. They found out that you Black. They're going to charge you 3 times the amount of money they would charge a regular white person. Because
That's
you use their
terrible.
services.
That's terrible.
How Go Yet out there on
Tell it.
Center Road didn't know nothing about it. It was cooling and heating. How
Right.
did they get a contract for pipes?
Cool with somebody in the administration.
How they get a contract and the Black company still haven't been getting paid, man. I got a problem with Weaver and Mealy. That company still, that Black them C.W. Williams, they still haven't got paid, man.
Right.
That
Right.
should be right on the city council. That should have been the first thing they should have got paid, man.
That's why I go back to the city council that we got. We got the ones in there now. Who gonna be, this my thing, and I'm not trying to knock on none of them, but who gonna be strong enough that can get a 6 together that can really go out here and help change Flint? Damn all that fires, that garbage contract. That garbage contract should be brought up right now. They should be going back over that contract.
Number one.
They should be on top of that ASAP. And then what fools, Brother Robert, just answer this for me. I'm going to give you the layout and you can break it down. Detroit, Benton Harbor, and Genesee County didn't have to hire no firm, no compliance firm to show them how to spend their hyper funds money, but Flint did.
Come on now.
Can you explain that to me?
Nope, I can't. Brother, I cannot. I ain't going to lie to you. That one right there is above my pay grade.
Is the mayor and the city council, is they that incompetent where they don't trust each other? Because basically what you're saying is, what did you hire a CFO for?
What did you hire a CFO for?
And the first thing he do is come tell you how to spend $1 million. You spending 1.3 for something that they gave you the paper. If he that incompetent, fire his ass, get a new CFO in.
Fire him.
Right. If he couldn't do his job, get him up out of here. But yet, every other city, Detroit didn't need one. They got way more money. Genesee County don't even need one.
At all. So it goes back to kickback.
Oh, y'all, you know somebody getting a kickback. And then if you hiring these people, but that's where the incompetence come in at. And like you say, I don't care about, I feel WT Stevens, you know, if they was fighting them that hard to weaver them, you should have tried, listen, I don't know what they was doing, but fires Neely to carry that on, and what he doing is it's a sad look. It's a sad look. But if they none of that money spent on the north side, that's terrible.
That's terrible. And they need to be called out and held responsible. Hey Mick, we got a potential new volunteer, a young beautiful lady that's coming on. I want her to introduce herself. And
yes, sir.
Sorry that we was running on. You know, I can get passionate, so I don't want to disrespect our womanhood.
No problem.
I want her to come in her own way and share a little bit about her. Again, to our audience, our listening audience, again, we always are recruiting. So we have a beautiful young lady that's thinking about considering coming on and being a part of our team. We want to welcome her with transparency, number one, but we definitely want to make her feel comfortable and help to encourage her and motivate her for the dreams and the power that the Creator had put inside of her. And so introduce yourself, my sister. They can see you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Valerie. And just a little bit about myself. Always been a little involved with my community. I just not too long ago moved here from Las Vegas, and I really want um Flint as a whole. It's just listening to what everybody's been saying so far and seeing how there needs to be more solutions and more things that need to be built here. And I do believe that um, we do have some powerful men and women that's already here, but not coming together as a whole. And I do believe what is here, we have what we need in order to accomplish whatever we truly want. And so I'm coming here and hoping I can, tag in and do as much as possible. And if so, inspire and encourage other people to do the same because we can't do it one by one. We need everyone to join in order to make the type of changes that we just not talking about, or our kids will grow up and it will, the things that's happening now has continued. So I'm really passionate about legacy. I'm really passionate about change and things that we think about, but making it a reality and making it actually manifest before our eyes. And so I believe from the very beginning with Black Lives Matter, when it first started and how it wasn't really a base. We couldn't really find a base for it, but it was so powerful. It was such a huge movement that it literally moved everybody according to what was going on. And so the fact that it had that much power, not just in one place, not in one city, not in one state, but was able to impact our whole country, I believe that what it initially stands for justice and for change is still there. I believe that power is not something that it can be given. It is something that is taken. It is something it takes accountability. It takes responsibility in order to move in the direction that you truly want to. So I hope you guys um, um, say hi or whatever.
Well, they said hello. So you living in Flint now?
I'm living in Flint now. Yes.
Okay, that was Becky Brown. She was asked. She said hello, and she said, "Is you a Flint resident?" Yes, she's a Flint resident. So how you liking the weather so far?
I don't like it.
Well,
I was born and raised here.
oh, okay.
But I lived out there for so long, so environment, that's
Right.
take an impact on you. So coming back here, I got used to it again. So, but I still don't like the weather, but it is what it is. So
Okay, well, that's a good thing. Well, we'd like to see you there. I will be probably back in the building at the end of the month because I caught COVID, so I just made myself do 30 days because usually we'll record there and we wouldn't, but right now I'm trying to do it like this where I wouldn't spread it to nobody else.
yeah, that's true care right there.
Yeah, right, no doubt, because it's spreading like wildfire.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It really is. It's crazy, but it is. But population control, of course.
Oh, yeah, no, because this what brother Jalil just said. This what he said about Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna read it. He said the fact that the enemy created the problem that created Black Lives Matter, then funded both dudes for their own hidden agenda.
Uh,
How you feel about that question?
that they're looking for their whole hidden agenda.
Yeah, he said fact the enemy created the problem that created Black Lives Matter, then funded both dudes for their own hidden agendas.
I feel like that both ways. Reason being is one because of okay, for instance, we already know slavery. That's not something that just happened in history, but it's constantly happening, and the
Yes.
women are passing it on to their children. So
Right.
just like an elephant, if a baby elephant had a chain on it and it was used to how far it can go, even if
Right.
the chain off and it's older, it's only going to go as far as it goes. And what is being taught is being passed on. So even with white supremacy and all of that stuff, like we are in a way, I can say this, we will never truly own anything in this country, but we can control a lot. Because everything do belong at the end of the day, the United States is a business and they profit off of our health, they profit off of our ignorance, they profit a lot off of us. But if we take the time to invest into ourselves and make ourselves more aware, then we'll be able to obtain the things what we need. But the reason why I say it's both is because of that suppression, because of everything that has happened, it caused anger, it's caused frustration, it caused it's like looking at a gate, it's like looking at jail, but the door is open, like that type
Right.
of thing. Like those type of things will build up. And the reason why I say it can be a bad thing is because of the anger, because of the frustration. That alone takes power away from you, where it can get to a point where it can blind you and you can't think clear. If you even think when you get angry, you can't think clear. You're on raw emotions.
Right.
So on a negative tip, when it comes to that, it can turn into a bad thing. But the good thing, the good part of that is the fact that it brings light of insight of what's going down, what's really in our hearts, because
Right.
our everyday lives, we are constantly being distracted by the media from the real problems and issues. And if we're constantly being distracted, if we are in an unhealthy situation as far as our food, our air, our water, how can we have a clear mind or a sound mind to think or act and to be able to solve any type of solution?
Right.
So,
Nah, I'm with you with that.
yeah. So I believe I believe change is something that is always possible, because for one, our minds is not a fixed thing. Um, it's already scientifically proven that the neuroplasticity of our mind is able to change. It just really depends on what we program ourselves. Like real talk, I really when I first thing the first thing happened when I first got here is I went to go out and go jog.
Hello. Yeah, you back now.
Okay. Um, One of the things that I experienced when I came back, because the area since I was in Las Vegas, I jogged outside, and so that was normal.
Right.
And it was a different community that I lived in, and so it wasn't a lot of a lot of crime was happening in the area.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah, and so when I came back, I'm in just my normal habit is like, okay, I'm coming back home, and my mind is still stuck in, still take care of myself and go run. And in the midst of me going to run down the street, my mom was like, "You're crazy to be doing that."
Nah, I get you. It's something new.
Yeah, it's something new. But in the midst of me going on my jog, a young girl came out of her household, and she came out. Her hair was a little wild and whatnot. And the first thing she said to me was, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey," and she was like, "You're ugly." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me flip it. Well, hey, you're pretty." And she was so
Right.
confused and end up saying that right back to me. But knowing from me growing up from here, I know environment has a huge impact on a person's mind.
Right.
And one thing I've been learning since I got back is it can have an impact or you can impact it. And but that takes self-control. That takes taking your power back on the things that you put before your face, before your eyes, and what you surround yourself with
Right.
to maintain the type of change in your life. So I'm just thrilled to get more involved with my community, because before I was more involved like in churches
Right.
and doing a lot of food giveaways and making sure clothes in the community.
Oh,
So,
well, you at the right spot then.
huh?
I said you at the right spot then, because the
Right.
one, far as helping with the community, 'cause we did a Christmas drive, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's things you at the right spot because they're gonna need some help, people to help the team stay focused and do what we already doing.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I can be of assistance and be able to push things forward. So
Okay, well, we're at the end. You got anything you want to say before we close it out?
I don't know. I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.